Not all red posts are created equal. Squoze them so that these guys are nice and snug. Hey, don't make me a liar. Bunch of people very happy and excited to be playing pinball. And look, there's 6 of them, of course. I'm Mike Dimas, and this is Pinball Shenanigans. Hey, what's going on, shenaniganders? I'm gonna attempt to do a little bit of work on $6 Million Man. Every once in a while, I want to say Bobby Orr. Probably just because it's red, white, and blue. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but I feel like I'm going to screw it up at some point in the near future, so I might as well correct myself in advance. So if I ever call this Bobby Orr, or I don't think I'll ever call it Evel Knievel, but it's also red, white, and blue. But yeah, so my back is a little cranky today, so I'm gonna put my feet up, kind of like bring my chair around the table, the pinball machine I mean, and do some easy like Playfield cleaning and rubbering and plastic removing and parts removing and all that kind of stuff. So I can kind of like stand up and lean forward. It doesn't bother me that much, but standing straight up seems to be an issue. That's what I get for like cleaning a floor, I guess. I'm not cut out for that kind of stuff, apparently. Anyway, I am going to proceed to the top side. Last time you saw this playfield was outside of the machine. Well, I put it in the machine because I had a couple of the boys and girls over on the weekend and I needed to make space, so I pushed it way against the wall. Thanks, Dutch, for your help. I mean, back about 6 feet or 5 feet. Anyway, it's more out of the way than it was. But yeah, the playfield is in. The boards are still not here, but that's okay. Good news, they are ready. They've been repaired. And they've been picked up from Brent in Coldwater, Ontario. And I should be getting them tomorrow, so we'll go over them. And he gave me a list of all the things he did. We can check that out, see what he did, what he didn't do, plug all those guys in, and then you know, in theory it should be pretty playable. This thing I'm gonna have to deal with, but not tonight. Look what I also just discovered. Incorrect post. And also in need of some, oh look, oh that's the dowel that we saw from the underside of the playfield. It's loose in there, so I'm gonna have to re-glue that in there, or drill it out and start from scratch. I'll probably do that. These posts here, actually, I was looking for them before. I was missing one on Bally Star Trek. See, it's the ridges go like horizontal. Well, it turns out I didn't actually have any of those till I went hunting and digging, and I found that a whole bag of these guys. So I believe I should have the exact correct post instead of this guy, so that should be an easy fix. I like these little rubbers, nice and easy to remove all the plastics. Oh, except for the ones that want to like disintegrate in my hand. Most of them are good though. Oh, I spoke too soon. Ugh. Those ones have been on there a while. But yeah, so, I mean, like I said, this is the easy stuff. I'm like halfway done and I just started. Oh, that one's on there pretty good. You can spin them off too if they don't like to pull off. So, let's take a look. Those targets, they don't look too bad. Like someone gave this machine some love at one point in its life, not too distant past, and it left a nice palette to work with. It's not complete basket case, which is nice. So let's just pull off this last guy here. Nope, one more over here. Come on, you bugger. That guy needs to be turned off. No, he's being stubborn. Okay, there we go. So I will be back. I'm gonna strip this whole top side down and clean her up. I might do some Playfield touch-ups. I haven't really decided yet just how far I want to take it, because, you know, I could maybe do the simple black stuff around here. It's front and center, but once you get into this kind of stuff, you got like orange, red, black, blue, yellow text. I mean, that gets a little more elaborate. I could probably go over the inserts. The other thing is, if you go over each insert, like a couple inserts around the circles of the inserts, you kind of almost have to do them all. So, haven't quite decided to what degree I want to deal with that. But all in all, I mean, front and center is pretty good shape, considering it's 40 years old. So often a lot worse. A little bit bad up here and here. Yeah, okay. So, and I still have to decide if I want to go LEDs too. I do not have Siegecraft adapter kit on me. Yeah, that's food for thought. I may not go LEDs. We'll see. My mind changes like the wind. So give me some time. I'm going to hunch over this machine and see how much progress I can make. I'll be back in a bit. Alright, I just went upstairs for a little food break. I'm back down here. But as you can see, I'm kind of like sitting on my butt and working away. I've got pretty much everything I need. So what I'm basically doing is I want to make sure every post is on there solid. None are stripped and loose. So I'm removing the post, using my brush and water to clean the post, using my wet cloth to clean around the post in the Playfield, and then if needed, installing a washer, because some of the screws like kind of just dig into the post so deep that you can't barely turn it. So some posts I've had to add a washer to give, you know, the nut driver the ability to catch onto it so it doesn't actually just sink into the plastic deeper. So I'm just very tediously going through every single post, including the white guys, and I'm up and around this point here. And I'm gonna go around and do that to every post, and then that'll be, you know, all the areas around the posts cleaned, all the posts nice and solid. I've already tightened these guys here. Maybe I'll zoom in a bit here, just a little bit, with 1/4-inch nut driver. These guys all firmed up pretty nicely. This guy here, pretty sure I did him. Or did I? I'll leave my what are those things called again? Wrench there, so that I don't forget. But, oh, did I do these guys? Yep, I did these guys. So that's where I'm at. Just sit on my butt, one post at a time, clean, repeat, and eventually I'll have the whole Playfield done. This clear plastic is awfully thick. Almost makes me think someone made one, but it looks too old and yellow to be a remade. But someone got a little crazy with the wax. Ugh, look at that. Well, it's nice and clean under there. Alright, I have removed every post, cleaned them all, cleaned underneath them and around them. Made sure they're all tight. Obviously, I have yet to deal with this guy. But that's all the excitement that I have for you today. This gate cleaned up nice and shiny. I'll be doing that to the other metals too. Like this guy and this guy. The one-way gates. But this is not going to be enough for your viewing pleasure. So I'm going to come back tomorrow and try and finish this up, clean up the Playfield fully, remove the apron, install some rubbers, and all that good stuff. By that time, there might be enough excitement to have created an entire video for this series. But that's it for tonight. Just a little bit of action. I'll be back tomorrow, so hang tight. Alright, I'm back. And my back is better today by far. I might have overdid it yesterday, trying to sit on my butt while working on $6 Million Man. So I'm going to take it easy today and not re-crank my back. I won't like that. So I thought I'd just look at the Internet Pinball Database for fun, see what it says about $6 Million Man, because we never really talked anything about the history of it or anything. I mean, it's 1978, 6 players. Like, is it the first game with 6 players ever? I bet you it is. Well, maybe there's EMs that have 6 players, but it's probably the first solid state 6-player game would be my guess. I don't know for sure, I'm just guessing. I think I might have heard that, who knows. But they certainly did well, 10,000 units. This is in the era where Bally discovered that attaching a license to a machine makes for good sales. Says here, designed by Greg Kimmick, 6 players can play at the same time. Art by Dave Christensen. He was the go-to artist for a lot of those Ballys in that era. Hey, what is this? I did use the name City Slicker on the 1978 Whitewood. Back then, the designers named the Whitewoods whatever they wanted, and I would always like the name City Slicker. Huh. Interesting, because City Slicker is the name of a Bally machine. 6803, like about, that's the platform there. The board set. And I think that was more like mid-80s, though. I also remember that during the 1970s, the Whitewood names were always changed by the marketing department once the game was released for artwork. Bally was transferring to 7-digit displays just then, so the decision was made to use up all the existing 6-digit displays and inventory by making $6 Million Man with a 6-player game. Wow, oh, that's funny. I did not realize that. Use up all that extra inventory. Production run over 10,000 games would have used up over 20,000 6-digit score displays. 10,000 games would have used up over 20,000 6-digit score displays for players 5 and 6. Oh, extra displays. Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. Not in total. First production game with 7-digit displays was Skateball. Right on. Okay, well, there's actually quite a bit of history on this, but I'm not about to read all that. And it seems like a lot of that talk is about bulbs. A lot of talk about bulbs. 555, 44, 44. Oh, Russell just messaged. He was working on a spring break. Had a weird issue. And posted it in Pinball Repair Help Group. Chris Hibbler chimed in. He contributes to PinWiki. And it turned out it was such a weird and unique issue that that issue is now part of PinWiki as of today, like an hour ago or something. So if you look up game-specific issues for Spring Break, you'll find that your shooter lane needs to be working, or else you could kind of technically brick the machine if you plunge the ball and don't hit a switch. So there you go. Anything else? Is this moving on to a different game? No. What do we got? Let's take a look at the flyer for fun before we get to work here. 6-player flipper pinball. And then we got this. Bunch of people very happy and excited to be playing pinball. And look, there's 6 of them, of course. Very cute. And then some reading material. Super Money Maker 6-player flipper pinball. Converted to add a ball? Convertible to add a ball. Wonder how that works. Electronic sound effects and tunes. The new space age sound effects and 6 tunes add extra excitement to gameplay. 6 tunes? Huh. Attention-getting graphics. Ooh. Featuring the Bionic Man, Colonel Steve Austin of TV fame. Anyway, that's fun to check out all that action. So, not as fun to individually remove and clean. Oh my god, I'm falling. That wouldn't have been good for the back. Remove and clean every single post. But that's the goal. Clean up all this, clean up the playfield, and the thickness of this looks actually normal. It's the same thickness as that. I thought maybe it was almost someone's homemade job to make it thicker, but no, it looks factory, which is good because that's where the ball travels along. So, all right, I guess it's time to get back to the playfield. All right, putting a dent in the playfield so far. This one post hole here I got beefed up with a toothpick and some wood glue. And I found that all these rails are loose enough that I could just yoink them all out. So I think I'll just add the tiniest little bit of crazy glue on each one and then shove them back in. They're kind of compression fit, but I rather, like, you know, that's not bad, but it's better if they're not just... So that's this guy, this guy, this guy, all those guys. So I'll deal with that. Using my Dremel brush there to clean every single switch. Let's see how good of a job I did. You didn't see the before, but it is nice and shiny. Both sides, of course. Can't see that one just as good from this angle. So I did the obvious playfield switches. These guys all, well, looks like I can just kind of bend those out of the way and do those. So I'll do that to those guys. But yeah, kind of cleaning up the area around all the posts after and or before sticking them in. I did all these guys here because there's like 8 posts that I got to go there. So by the time I'm done cleaning the areas all around the post, I don't have a whole lot of playfield left. So that's kind of cool. You know, I've kind of done the rails and the shooter lane and the back corners, and I also use the brush to clean the inside every single lamp socket as usual. I'll have to get this switch as well here. I can access that with my Dremel actually. It's just the stand-up targets. I can probably cram my brush in there, get the remaining targets. So basically gotta install a post, some rails, clean up the playfield some more. I'll install all this stuff I think next. And I do have new rollover buttons too. If you look close, it's pretty gunky, not easy to clean. Much easier to just nipple off the underside, pop it out, and pop in a new one. Boom. And I think there's another few rollovers over here. So I think 3 rollovers total. If I'm going to do that upper one, I'm going to do these ones too. So I have like probably 15 of those left. I ordered a bunch once, and just slowly but surely use them up. Instead of just ordering 2 or 3 what you need, it's always good to order more and save on shipping. So, making progress. Cleaned up these metals a little bit better with the green scrubby. And same with these guys. A little shinier on the top than they were before. But yep, so making progress. Not all red posts are created equal, as you can see. Many different shapes and sizes and styles. But what we need out of this batch, can you guess which one? Do you know which one it is that I need? Well, I'm pretty sure it is that guy. So let's go have a look. See if I picked the winner. I just crazy glued I used not the gel, I used the more liquidy style crazy glue because I figured I was just gonna try and drop it in the holes. Just a tiny little smidge. The rails are all in now. I've got them to the height that I'm happy with. For the most part, they all just kind of set to the right height. This one pushed in further, so I had to pull it back up a bit. But let's compare to this guy here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks good. So I cut off the excess toothpick there, and then we'll stick that guy there. Well, I better give him a bit of a clean. He's actually not bad. And that'll be that guy. And before I forget, I think I better clean up all those other switches, but found me a post. Okay, even with no circuit boards, I can still plug in the machine, get my general illumination lighting. Because I think, look at that, no boards, but we got some action. I think I have decided that I am going to spoil this machine and go LEDs. Now, I could go Siegecraft adapters, or I have a new Alltech lamp driver board that I got with a purchase. I was gonna save it for another machine, but I may use it on this one, or I guess I could buy the adapters. But the reason I have to go to this decision is because I'm about to put these lane guides on. And in order to do that, I need to put in bulbs first to make life easier. So if I gotta put in bulbs, I gotta decide right now, LED or incandescent. It's a lot more work for me, and may or may not matter in the grand scheme of things to the end user, whoever that may be. Because a lot of people are just like first-time buyers. They just want something that flips and plays. And hey, I remember $6 Million Man when I was in the arcade. They don't care whether it's LED'd or not. 80% of the people, probably. But I think it would just look cool and be fun, so it's kind of just a selfish decision that would probably, most likely, benefit the end user. Also, you know, it does reduce heat. And, yeah, so that's always a good thing, too. So, I guess we're going LEDs. Oh, I got sunspots in my vision now. I've just been LEDing. Oh, and I also said like that it's a lot more work to LED. I take that back. It's actually not. What I was kind of thinking in the back of my head is just the lamp sockets. Like, to deal with the lamp sockets. These 40-year-old lamp sockets, always something. There's a lot of different solutions. I'm not. Oh, now all of a sudden that one wants to work. Okay. Well, I'm happy with that then. If it's going to behave, I'll keep an eye on it though. But there's you know, you can get all new sockets. You can add a 1K ohm resistor to each lamp socket. You can buy the Yopsicles, which are little tiny LED boards with resistors on them. You put one where every controlled lamp is, and those are a good option too. I haven't looked into pricing on those, but did watch a video that Tommy Skinner did installing Yopsicles. They look easy enough to install, and they also get rid of the 40-year-old sockets, which is nice. The one that Eric Thorne, the mod he has a video on, District 82 Eric Thorne, check out his channel, to bulletproof Bally sockets. The mod that he does, adding a resistor to the lamp socket, that is a very cheap option, and you don't need any Siegecraft boards and adapters or new Bally lamp drivers. You just need a 5-cent 1K ohm resistor that you have to add to every single socket. So it's a little bit of work, but totally and he does it to every single one of his games that, you know, of this era. So he's probably done thousands. That guy is an animal. I give him all the kudos and credit in the world. Anyway, so yeah, These are Davis Still LEDs, pinballrom.com, and they're not even non-ghosting, but because this is just general illumination, they aren't flickering, and they won't. So you only need the adapters for the controlled lamps, right? So, hey, look, it's still warm, and I like the warm on this era of machine. Kind of matches the incandescent look. But yeah, so this was all just a tangent so I could put the lane guides on. Now back to the regular scheduling programming. All right, it's time to get off my tools off 6 million Bionic Man. Move them over to Rudy. Thanks, Rudy, for letting me borrow you. Now we can actually see the playfield, and that I have it now, all the GI, fully LED'd, including the pop-uppers now. Got them in there nice and tight. I cleaned the sockets and, you know, squoze them so that these guys are nice and snug. Hey, don't make me a liar. He might need to be a little more snug, actually, that guy. Yep, okay, well, good thing I discovered that. We'll pop that out, give it even another clean. But yep, so now it's time to actually clean the playfield. Like I said, I just did around the posts. And now it's time to really go over it, give it a good clean. Novus, vacuum it. And whatever happened to putting these lane guides on? I guess I'll do that after I Novus everything. That would make sense. So that's where I'm at. Alright, well, playfield is mostly cleaned. It's going to be Novus time now. Hey, look at this. These inserts are not very clean, are they? Every time I look, there's always more. But that's okay. Got to do the pop bumper skirts and bodies a little better too. And, oh, that seems a little bit floppy. I'll have to check the underside of that. I haven't rebuilt these guys yet, so that's to come. But this whole apron area was a bit of a disaster. I didn't really show you the before, but it's cleaning up nicely. This mech is definitely crusty. You can see I've kind of done around, but now that I removed the plate, it's ugly. And also, these holes are kind of stripped. There's 3 of them. That guy there. So I'm going to have to beef those guys up. One of the screws was missing. We got 2 different kind of screws that I found in there. So I'll clean that up. New sleeve. Actually, this one doesn't even look that old, but it'll get a new one. Clean up all the parts, reassemble that, and then that should be good. But yeah, it's been a while since this stuff has been cleaned. And then, I think this is another tangent I went off on. I will Novus everything and try and shine her up. And then it will be reassembly time. There we go, that's much better. That is a recipe for happiness right there. Alright, beefing up these holes. Toothpicks and wood glue. I think now is a good time to go take a dinner break. I'll see you after dessert. Right on, check this out. I went up, had me some foods, and then I got a message from my buddy Russell, said that circuit boards are back, and he's out and about, and wondering if I was home and he could bring them to me. I just remembered I am expecting a phone call. Someone might be interested in South Park, so I gotta keep an eye. Oh, and there's Sean Russell just messaged me. It's been announced that the Yegpin tickets are gonna go on sale February 26th. So what is it today? Like 15th? So that's probably, I don't know what day that is. Too much math for me, but okay, cool. So Yegpin tickets coming soon. Phone call for South Park. I gotta pay attention to that because he wants to possibly come tomorrow. But on a side note, and I just told him, like, hey, give me a call in about 20 minutes. And if I'm recording, I may not even notice the phone call. I would be poopy if I ask him to call me and then he calls me and I don't answer the darn phone. But, you know, life happens, so I'm sure he'll understand. But this is exciting. This is exciting. These boards, they were all working, but they just weren't bulletproofed, and there's a couple things that I wanted done, you know, like battery on the MPU and this kind of stuff. So here is the list of what my board guy did. So let's take a look and see the handiwork of Mr. Brent Butler. Make a big pile, make a big mess here. Okay, so I don't know if you watch South Park, but when I was installing the Pin 2 DMD, I accidentally shorted 5 volts to ground on this board, and it caused the display to be all like fuzzy. So I've just sent this along for the ride, and we'll take a quick peek here. Voila. Okay, so he says on the Sega DMD controller that he had to replace U1, which is an SN7HHTC24ON. U1. So I guess good news is that I only blew one chip. Where is that? Do you see it? U1, U1. U3, U10. This guy here. I would have never known that in my life. I would have never diagnosed that. I am no board repair guy, but looks like it's not socketed. I guess he's anticipating that I'm not going to blow it again. But you can see that all these other chips have white lettering on it, and this does not. I mean, it's on there so beautifully that it looks like it's factory. If you look real close, maybe tell. But there, that's what I did. Blew up that chip. Okay, let's put that back. And see what else we got. Oh, is this Shawnee Boy's old board? Shawnee Boy. No, this isn't. Okay, so this is the soundboard for $6 Million Man. And let's see what Brent did on that soundboard. Soundy replaced C17 and reflowed the connectors, and that was it. And this looks like a new cap, so I'm guessing that's C17. Yeah, there it is, right there. So that's all that was needed. He reflowed the headers while he had it. Well, I guess it's just one header on this board, right? Except the little 2-pin here, I guess. So, voila. That guy's good to go. And what's next here? This looks like the CPU. I think this had a little more work done to it than I was anticipating. So I did read those notes, I think yesterday or the day before. Okay, here we go. Let's set that there. And read what is, obviously you can see the battery has been done. So that's pretty sweet. I did remember reading on the notes that he replaced the jumpers. Now, I'm not sure why. Maybe the other ones were a little sloppy and he didn't like them. But let's see. Replaced ROM option jumpers. Replaced R4 and R16, which are 2K ohm resistors, I guess. R4 and R16. Where are they at? R4 and R16. Or are they ROM jumpers? No, ROM jumpers are like start with E. But I don't see exactly where those are yet. I'm not gonna stare at this board for 10 minutes. It's not all that exciting for you to watch. But a couple resistors changed. Replaced U1. Really? We had a bad U1 as well. Where is that guy? Let's see. Here it is. I was just looking for the lettering. These guys have white lettering. This guy looked a little different. Oh. Here we go. This says U1 here. For sure. But this chip has been socketed at some point. Is that the 5101 RAM? Can you read that? Could be the RAM. It doesn't really matter. But are R4 and R16 in this zone? No? Okay. The boards are a little chilly still. It's winter outside. Okay, what else did he do? Lithium battery. And, okay, that's really about it on this guy here. So, this is a nice looking board. This should be good for another 40 years. Okay. This, I wonder if these ROMs he replaced as well. I just don't remember what they looked like before. Okay, so let's set that aside. Move on. These are the lamp driver boards. He said that the Bally one, there was no issues at all to address, so he didn't do anything, really. I don't know if he reflowed the headers or not. Maybe, maybe not. So, this guy will go back in, but as you can see, there's a stern. Wait, no. This is the stern one. Stern one was green. No, neither were green. This is the stern one. Okay, so I sent this along too, just for fun, because I knew there was a few bad SCRs on it when I was using this to troubleshoot, and it says here that Bally lamp driver was okay, and the stern lamp driver had Q 21, 28, 38, and 58, so there's 4 bad ones. 21, 28, 28, 38, 58, those should be easy to spot. 28, no, it's not in any sequence. 58, so these two guys, this is stuff I could have done myself. Like, this board's very easy to work on, but since I was sending some stuff, I just figured, send it all to the pro. But this board will be going in, nothing to see there. This board I will set aside and write on it that it's perfectly good for the next machine that needs it. Okay, 2 boards left. Shiny Boy had an issue on his, what is it, Sinbad, once upon a time. And he had a new Niawump Gottlieb driver. But even the new boards can have blown components. So I brought an original driver over there and determined that one of these transistors for the out-hole kicker had blown. And so I just gave Sean my good driver and kept this one in exchange. And, oh, Kevin Graysley just texted, he sent me 3 attachments. What is that all about? Maybe his Twilight Zone progress, which I'm going to be doing an update soon. Well, let's get through this quick here, because you're probably getting bored of board repairs. Okay, what do we got? What do we got? Niawump driver. So, it turns out that Q12 and MPS A13 were replaced. Oh, and replaced QS5? Oh, there was more stuff on there that was bad than I thought. So, good thing I sent it to him, because I thought, oh, I will just change the transistor myself. That's why I send it to Brent, because he discovered that there was 3 components that were bad. And later on, I'm going to look closely and see what exactly. Blue, Q12. Oh, wait, it's Q12 and QS5. Not 3 components, just 2. Did I think there was 3? So it's probably the driver and the pre-driver. Q12. I think I even suggested a Q number to him, and I think it was the wrong one. Q13, Q12 here. So he said Q12, and what was the other thing? Alright, anyway. This board is good to go. Gottlieb Nywumpf driver. Thank you, Brent, for the action. I don't think you watch, but I'll shout you out anyway. Okay. This board is kind of one of the most curious boards. The solenoid driver, because it had a couple crusty components, and this would be the kind of the most visibly looking different board. Because he did a couple things, including a new shield here, which is pretty cool with the sticker. The old roasted component at, I can't read that, but that resistor there was toast. I'm pretty sure this cap has been changed. Headers have probably been reflowed. Oh, there's that phone call. I'll be back. Okay, so Buddy is coming tomorrow, officially, to look at South Park. Yegpin is officially 2 Saturdays from now for registration. And since all of the crashing of the website and extra advertisement and extra drama and extra hype, it's probably going to be even harder to get into Yegpin now. Man, oh man, better get my F5 finger ready. Okay, so back to the drawing board. Worst dad joke for the day. Okay, so we got what do we got? Bally sound lamp driver, solenoid driver board, SDB. So he replaced C23, which is this guy, and he replaced RT1. Oh, I believe that is the trimmer pot. It says trimmer right there too. Yep, so there. Replaced R52. Maybe that's R52 there, that toasty component. And replaced R53 as well. So that's probably, looks like that might be R53. Okay. And the high voltage shield, ground mods. Oh, and cleaned up pour traces on Q21. So let's see what the back looks like. All right, so there's a ground improvement here. Here looks like a repairing of a bad trace right there. I think these ones were already there, these wires. But Q21. Is that what it was? Q21, 19. Let's see. I'm going to double check here. It was Q21, which is, where is that? Oh, Q21 is a high voltage transistor, not this variety. This only goes up to Q19. So we were on the right track. This is probably Q21 trace right there. Might be Q22, Q23. Anyway, the board works better than ever and upgraded with the pot, the cap, the mods at the back. So enough talk about boards. Let's go plug them in. Alright, I got a little sidetracked. As you can see, Transformers is missing. Well, just to be proactive, just in case the guy that comes tomorrow is interested in South Park, I moved Transformers here because, you know, if he doesn't take it, oh well, I just wheel it back there, not a big deal. But if he does take it, then it's just one less thing to have to deal with, right? So, trying to be proactive. I'll move $6 million man back a little bit, get the cart out of the way when I'm done tinkering with boards and this mech. I gotta put this back together again. But yeah, so then also I guess if he takes it, I could just kind of wheel Transformers back into this space, and then we won't have log jam at the bottom of the stairs anymore. So that's what I've been doing. Probably shouldn't be with a little bit of a cranky back, but I managed okay. So Now I think it's time to install some boards. Alright, if you watched the previous videos, you would have seen that this area and this area was a little bit, suffered some corrosion damage from when the original battery leaked. And you can even see that it's still here. And it was up here as well. So I've cleaned that off with green scrubby. And also a couple of these standoffs, as they typically are broken. See that guy? He's supposed to look like this. He's missing his wings, which was the case with this guy here. So let's zoom out so I'm less motiony. But let's see if I can just cram that in. Voila, there we go. So cleaned up the area and got me a new standoff. And then there's one more we're gonna do here. This guy, just kind of pry him out of there. Voila. Now there might be some bits at the back there that might fall out. Should get a screwdriver. Funhouse, thank you. Rudy, clear that out. There. That's the old piece of the standoff. Then get our green scrubby. Now if you really want to get crazy with the cheese whiz, you can get your vinegar out and kind of neutralize that area, but because it is alkaline from the battery. But I think that's going to be fine and dandy. Okay, where's my other standoff? Uh-oh, which hole was it? Was it this one? I think it was that one. If I stick it in that one, there ain't no taking this off. I'll have to break it off. So I'm going to line up the board just to be safe, but I think it is that top one. And then now I can go ahead and install boards. Alright, there we go. All the boards are back. I just put in the original Bally lamp driver for now. I may go Siegecraft for LEDs, which connect to these connectors. Or bust out the Altec, which has the LED capability. That's food for a later thought. And one last thing I noticed is the fuse clip was it's basically called the fuse clip mod. If you actually pull out the fuse clip and spin it around, then you can put in a standard size fuse there instead of the little small fuse that originally came with that. So Brent, I asked him to do the fuse clip mod. Now standard size fuse fits in there, and that is all better as well. So I think all the wires are tidied up and happy and clipped in. So I'm going to leave that for now and get this thing back together again before I wrap things up. Alright, under the apron is done. Everything's all tightened up, all the screws. Look at this, way better. 3 screws in there now, super solid. Nice and clean and shiny, new sleeve. My little foam here was peeling off, so I just added some crazy glue and a little band-aid that I'll remove once it's on there good. And yeah, so that is much better. So remind me, I gotta clean some more Playfield here. Obviously I'm gonna novice, but how do these inserts, let's get my little water and magic eraser. How do these inserts just look like they do? I'm sure they'll come up nicely, but is that just like little black ball marks that you get on your Playfield just on the inserts? Yeah. Am I making you go around in circles? I feel my left hand jiggling around. There we go. That looks better. Alright. I'll probably putter around for a little bit more before I wrap up, but I guess there's no real reason for me not to be able to have this thing up and flipping in the very near future. Got me boards, got my playfield cleaned. All that's really left is to clean the last bit, reassemble, then rebuild like pop bumpers and flippers, and practically done, other than play testing the crap out of it and dialing it in. But oh yeah, and then potentially all inserts LED'd. You know, I could just leave the GI LED'd, but then typically the inserts are dull compared to the GI, and it's just not as cool. Hey, here's a piece of standoff. Oh boy, do I ever gotta moisturize. Wow, that's the dry season for you here in Canada, eh? All right, I'll be back. Alright, I was just cleaning up the pop bumper skirts and bodies, and I'm kind of at a crossroads. I think I've got everything cleaned. I'll use my compressed air to spray things off. Question now is, before I reassemble, do I want to get into any touch-ups? That is a slippery slope. As soon as I start touching up, then it ends up being like a 10-hour friggin' commitment. I mean, you just gotta kind of decide when you stop. Color matching faded blue. This blue is slightly different than that blue, maybe. There's that. There's this. There's these guys. There's basically around every insert, really. A little bit of planking wear there. These inserts a little bit. Tiny little dot here. There was, yeah, I guess this is kind of most obvious. That's most obvious. And then, of course, this zone. So, before I novice this thing, I have to decide, do I want to get into that? Or do I want to just leave this player's condition? I mean, it is player's condition. I'm just, you know, sprucing it up. I'm gonna make it electronically and mechanically very sound as I can get it, to play as perfectly as I can get it. Cosmetically though, I mean, LEDs definitely will pop, but I mean, this is, you got to work with the palette you're given, right? To what extent do I want to do any work on the cabinet? It wouldn't, you know, it's a very basic art. 3 colors on the cabinet, red, white, and blue, so you could definitely spend a lot of time. Let's zoom out there. Tweaking this bad boy. And I also considered repainting the entire head frame. And then I could roll the back as well, because the back is a little crusty. But the other thought is to not do any of the above on this particular project. So I think what I might do is I just want to maybe do this area here, the black, because it's easy and kind of fun to see the before and after. So the 50,000, that's the main feature in this game, right? So let's spruce that up a little bit. And that's probably the extent. I'll have to force myself to put down my paint marker after I mess with that. Otherwise, I'll be here for many hours. Alright, I am done messing with my paint markers for now. I did bust out the black and the yellow and tidied that up. It looks much better. That's the extent that I went. And the last thing I want to do here, throw in a bow and power this guy on for the first time since we got the boards back, and kind of just see what happens. I'm hoping good things. Ooh, volume's up. Okay, that's cool. We've got action. Obviously I gotta address this too. That's supposed to like pull down upon power up. But yeah, look at that, it's getting there. LEDs are looking good. Displays, yeah, they need some work. Just a couple, nothing too major. All right, well, what do you think? LED the inserts would probably look pretty darn cool. I think I might just have to do that. What's going on here? Is he supposed to be locked on? That looks locked on, don't you think? Let's try lamp test. Oh, okay, good. It's happy. My 2X is not happy though. So if I LED this guy, I'm sure I'm going to run into some more sockets I'm going to have to mess with, because there are like probably 50 of them. But that's okay. I think it'll be well worth it. This guy's controlled lamp too, so this guy tells you when there's a credit in the machine or not. Anyway, it's coming along. Another good session. I should have this thing assembled and flippers rebuilt and all that good stuff. So that'll be the end of this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.